That is something that I keep hearing myself say over and over again lately. Making stuff is hard.
I think they really dropped the ball when they came up with that. I mean, that just is not...
Good song.
What's my alias? Changing my alias to something.
Alias is... what's your favorite Pokemon?
Quagsire.
All right, I'll be Gliscor. I'm going to be our favorite Pokemon. 2 ground types. Ground is where it's at, 100%. So I know people like Borneo, but I like maybe 75% of Borneo.
Yeah, Borneo, I mean, like, not a whole lot of people like to talk about it because people love Borneo. But the first point, as blue, is kind of really difficult to push. If red has their stuff together, man.
What is this? I'm watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. I'm watching 5 people trying to camp a teleporter. Why? They're all literally trying to camp the teleporter, but no one's coming through the teleporter. They're all camping it.
That's good. I'm delaying the push.
It's Dane's mad scientist strategy to delay the team.
No, here, I'll give it to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
There. All right. Satisfied? Move on.
I appreciate that. The whole team there had 8 people trying to camp a telly. Had a lot of people talking to me saying that I triggered some PTSD, showing a bunch of people hanging around a basement playing video games or something like that with pizza and everything.
Yeah, that image is very relatable to a lot of people, especially who were born in the 1090s.
Millennials. Yeah. That's been the couch multiplayer. I miss it. I genuinely miss it, you know?
It's one of those things, I don't know if you have this experience with, like, things that you enjoyed in your youth, and then you're like, man, I want to experience that again, and then you go back and experience it, and it's actually not as good as you remember, and you kind of wish that you didn't re-experience it because you enjoy the memory more than the re-experiencing of it.
You okay, buddy?
No, it's just like, I'm worried that I'll have that experience with couch multiplayer, so I've kind of intentionally avoided revisiting that and other things of that nature where I'm just like, I remember recently I rewatched Shrek, and I was like, I was actually worried before I started watching it because I was like, man, what if I don't like it? What if I think it's actually really bad, and then I'll have this really terrible opinion about this movie everybody really likes, and I won't be able to talk about it? But
what are you talking about? Shrek's great. It's hard to admit what you like sometimes. It's very hard to admit what you like.
Well, you want people to like you, and if you say something that people don't like, then it might make them not like you. So
yeah,
there's always that worry.
The old caveat of trying to please everybody,
right?
You know?
But I think when you get older, I mean, like, look at your dad. He doesn't give a shit about what people think about him. Like, you're gonna get to that point, and it's entirely possible to expedite that process if you just feel like it. So it's never too late to be cool like your dad. Recently, I've been like finding myself listening to the same music, and it's not that I'm getting tired of the music. It's just like, oh man, there's so much music out there.
You've heard it so many times. You know?
Well, yeah, and I like the music. Obviously, I've listened to it enough, but I feel bad that I haven't listened to more music.
People underestimate, I feel, the power of music, man. I love adding music. One of my favorite parts of making a video is adding the music.
Yeah?
That is my favorite part. I love finding music, and I love doing the best I can to make it sound good, Because it sets mood. Music is powerful. Music unites us, dude.
No, I totally agree, and I actually really like to edit to music in that, not that I'm playing music unrelated to editing, because sometimes it throws me off, but as far as music in the video, sorry, I was getting fucking pelted by a million things.
Oh, I know.
I'm trying to play Medic because the Steam doesn't have one. I like to not really structure the flow of the video until I have all of the music, because I try and make sure that the music is in place so that I can try and time my commentary to the music in a way that's satisfying, if that makes sense. Because that's way more graceful than what I do. I smash cut so many things all the time. Sometimes I don't know how to transition from one thought to the next, so I just go, but I mean that's a good way to do it. Yeah, and it's stylistic too, which is great. A big reason why I even started my YouTube channel where I make engineer videos is because I couldn't find any good videos about engineer anywhere on YouTube. So eventually I was just like, you know what? I have all of these ideas of what I think would be a good video. So I'm just gonna make it myself, and that's basically where it started. Like, so it's almost like passion, or at least like the beginning of the passion to make these kinds of videos came from my frustration with other people not making what I want to see. And
I mean, I feel like that's the birth of a lot of things.
Right, right.
You know, see a need, fill a need. Like that is hard. You know, and it's especially hard when people are like, "Oh, this sucks," and they tell you that they think this is bad. And I'm like, "Okay, well, where's yours? Where's your videos, huh? Where's your channel?"
Right. Yeah, exactly. You know, maybe if you have all of these criticisms about people's ideas or whatever, it's not a bad thing, and to have that, as long as you put that outlet into something creative or something productive, which I think I think is great. I mean, if you want, if you feel like you don't see enough of something, then put it into the world.
It's easier than you think. You just have to start. You just have to start. You don't need anything. You just need to start it. You don't need to buy any equipment, although besides the bare necessities.
Right.
But the point is, no matter what you think is in your way, the most important part is to start it. You know,
it's true.
Because no matter how good you think the quality of your stuff is, it's better than if you didn't make it at all.
Right.
And it's important to keep that in mind. You know, because people forget that all the time. I think people forget that. I think people are so preoccupied with whether or not they're making something good that they forget that they're making something at all.
Right.
And it's hard. It is hard. Making stuff is hard. That is something that I keep hearing myself say over and over again lately. Making stuff is hard.
Right. Oh, look, it's Big Joey.
Where do you think your inspiration comes from? Like on a regular basis?
I'm inspired a lot by movies.
Really?
I really like movies a lot.
Movies.
I mean, I don't really talk about it very much because, nobody really brings it up. But yeah, I'm huge.
Movies specifically?
Movies? Yeah, just movies.
Yeah,
Film.
movies. I'm bringing up movies, Dane.
Oh, okay.
Movies.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
what kind of movies do you
in
like?
general, what movies do I like? Do you want me to give you like a top 20 or what?
Give me a top 10. Top 10 movies.
Top 10.
Top 5.
All right,
top 5.
Hold on, let me go.
Maybe top 1. Top 5.
Well,
top 5.
I'll give you all my top 10 movies.
Okay. Yeah. Give me. All right. Here we go. Dane's top 10 favorite movies, 2021 years.
Specifically, these are the movies that have rated 10 stars on IMDb: Interstellar, The Wolf of Wall Street, Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Breaking Bad is a TV show, but we'll let it slide. The Incredibles, Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and that's the end of the rated 10 movies. I can go 9s now if you like.
Okay, so Dane and I talked for a really long time, and unfortunately, there really isn't enough room in this video for everything that I liked. So if you'd like to see more of this video, there's a very special, very exclusive 1 hour long cut of this video available on my Patreon to people who subscribe. The link is in the description. Thanks so much. Let's keep going. So here's an interesting question. Do you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert?
I would say overall, I think I'm introverted, but only in specific situations. Like, I feel like I'm much more extroverted around people that I'm comfortable with, but I think most people would say that.
Yeah.
I hate the term.
And maybe this is probably a skewed conversation or topic in the first place, because it's not like one or the other.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I actually kind of really dislike, because people always say, like, I'm an introverted extrovert or whatever. It's like, well, that just means that it's just depends on the situation, which is like, that's everybody. Like, everybody's like that.
I have an innie and an outie.
There are some people, I will admit, obviously there are some people who are just introverted, as in they don't talk to anybody, and that's kind of like a personality disorder, in my opinion. I mean, like, I'm not even trying to insult actual people who consider themselves introverted. I'm just saying, like, there are a subset of people who literally cannot talk to anybody, and that is like a social disability. And I recommend that they figure out how to fix it. But I would say that, like, in general, most people are extroverted around their friends, and they're introverted around people who they don't know. It's like, that's completely normal, and I don't think anybody should feel bad that they don't feel comfortable, 100% comfortable talking to people that they're not comfortable with,
Yeah.
And people I think it's just back to people putting too much pressure on themselves to be like the people that they look up to, and they look up to, like, people who are, like, super extroverted, in front of people that they don't know. Like, most of those people are entertainers, by the way, which, like, that's why they're entertaining, is because they have that ability.
And they've practiced, because that's why they're good at it.
Exactly. Right. Who was I? I was watching an interview with Denis Villeneuve, who's like one of my favorite directors, and he's making Dune, and I'm really excited. Anyway,
I'm excited for that too.
I was watching an interview with him, and he was talking about how when he was when he was younger, he was really nervous to work with people who he like looked up to and stuff, because he's been working with Roger Deakins, who's like a legend in the director of photography community, and he was like, oh yeah, I had to stifle a fanboy inside of me in order to like work with him, and then he's like, and now we're just really good friends, and it kind of, I don't know, it inspired me to remind myself, like, even Denis Villeneuve is like he's like a 50-year-old man, like nobody's immune to being shy around people. Nobody's immune to having vulnerable moments or anything like that. Like everybody's got their moments where they feel inadequate, and you get over it. You know, you spend enough time talking to somebody that you're uncomfortable with, and you'll become comfortable with them, and it'll be better. So
yeah, it's just getting cozy around people that you were previously weren't comfortable or weren't like confident talking around, right?
Right.
And I think that's what it comes down to. Maybe it's confidence.
Sure.
Maybe it's confidence. Maybe introverted people just have a latency in confidence, you know? And I think I fall into that too. And I think that's just kind of what happens with everybody.
Right.
You know?
Like I feel like I talk a lot when prompted, but unprompted, I feel like I'm much more comfortable listening, or just not talking or not contributing to the conversation. So
yeah,
it just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my answer. It depends. I know it's like a lame answer, but it's true.
But that's
it's most
okay.
realistic.
You know, well, this is the thing about false dichotomies, right? It's not introvert or extrovert. It is, when do you feel more confident about talking about yourself or talking about this? Because you know, you could be completely introverted about monkeys, but then suddenly chameleons come around and you are Johnny on the spot. You know, it's all a matter of topic
yeah. Also,
too.
100% has to do with the subject matter at hand. Like it's very easy to talk to you because we're obviously in the same career and we play the same video game, and like that's an in. But
yeah,
it'd be almost next to impossible for me to go to a country club and talk to a bunch of like golfing people. You know what I mean? I don't golf. Like, what do I have to talk to them about?
9 iron.
So I'm just gonna sit there, and I usually it's not that I don't enjoy talking to people who I have different interests in. It's just that I definitely won't contribute to the conversation as much, and I'll reserve myself.
It's hard to
listen.
engage. It's hard to engage. It's hard to relate with them. It's hard because you don't know what the hell they're talking about. So
and it feels bad. I mean, like, here's the thing: is that I'll turn this around to give people advice if you find yourself in this situation, because it is painful if you're on the other end of it, and I'm sure people can relate to being on the other end of being criticized for not contributing to a conversation that you don't have any stake in. Especially like in the moment, it's very irritating. Like, I don't know, Thanksgiving dinner comes to mind when when this is a thing for me, because like I don't give a shit about politics, and when my family's sitting around talking about politics at Thanksgiving, I'm generally just sitting there listening, because I don't have enough information, or I don't have enough interest to contribute in the conversation and butt in and say, well, here's what I think. Like, I'm just not going to do that. And then afterwards, like, my mom comes up to me and she's like, "Are you feeling okay? Like, you feel you were like not saying anything, like," and I'm like, "I just don't have anything to say," and that is, I feel that is completely appropriate. But sometimes people seem to get offended, or they seem to think that there's something wrong with you if you're not contributing to a conversation. It's like, well, maybe they're not contributing to the conversation because they don't have anything to contribute, and that's completely fine. As long as they're listening, then
that's fine.
Then that's great. So, I mean, if you ever find yourself, my point is, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're in a group of friends and you're all talking about one thing you like, and your friend is not talking, don't feel bad for them. Like, it's just that they don't have anything to say. And
but I mean, it's always better when everyone can get included.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's the ideal situation, but that's like not going to happen. I mean, it's
not every time.
No.
Unless all you talk about is TF2 and all of us play TF2.
Like when anybody, all my friends talk about anime or something, like I don't have anything to say, but it's fine. I'll listen.
Yeah.
Now I'll know what what JoJo means or something. You know?
Right. Oh my God! Everyone's like, "Oh, is that a JoJo reference? Is that a like any joke I make is apparently a JoJo's reference." You know what? Every time I go, however, comma, right? People take that as a JoJo's reference.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
You know, and then now it's like, hey, I came up with that. Don't give something else that I don't watch credit for what I thought. I thought of it first. It's mine. You can't take this.
You know, I prefer that people watch my videos for my videos instead of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You don't use yourself as a selling point.
Yeah. Have I talked about that before?
I don't think so.
I feel like I've talked about it with people before, so I couldn't remember if you were there for any of that. But I don't know. I've always felt, and people will always disagree, obviously, because that's what they're used to, and obviously that's like what I've inadvertently or however you put it, built my brand off of. But I'm not a big fan of how I am the face of my own channel, if that makes sense. I would much rather people watch the videos for the video itself instead of watching the video for me. And you even said it yourself to me not that long ago. In fact, it was one of the motivating factors in actually getting this recent Dust Bowl video done. I made like a joke tweet about how people are always messaging me saying like you should make a video about scammers because there are scammers. And you should tell people. And I've always thought it was really funny because to me it's like, what's the point? People.
This is just the basis of surviving.
Right, exactly. It's like I might as well just make a video saying, "Look out, there are trolls." That being said, I made a tweet about it saying like that would be like if I told people to not eat yellow snow. Like that's just like what everybody says. Don't click on links. And you made a reply. You said people are just asking. I mean. Basically, you said people are just asking you for a video because they just want a video because they want to hear your voice. And and I agree with you, but I wish that it wasn't true. Is my point.
Yeah, but the video is such a reflection of you, though.
Sure,
the video, like you pour so much. You pour your love of movies into it.
Right.
You pour so much into
great.
it that so much of yourself is reflected in it that they just can't help but like you at the same time.
I suppose, yeah. I'm not saying that people shouldn't like me. I wish that I know that and I also realize that it's unrealistic to expect people to not. Gravitate towards the thing that's front and center, which is me.
Yeah, and it's plus it's part of the appeal of YouTube. That sort of like human interaction that people are missing most of the time.
Yeah, the personality.
They watch YouTube for
of people is.
It's why they're not watching a PowerPoint right now about why the Jag is cool. They're watching a YouTube video. God, recently, like at first I wasn't with it, but now I like the detonator. I like the detonator quite a bit.
Yeah,
It took me a while to get used to it.
I haven't been able to be good with it. I actually recently I've switched to the flare gun. I was all panic attack for like 2 years straight. And then because like they basically made it like really good for pyro, and I feel like I'm better at hit scan than anything, so I figured it was.
I watched your NG videos, man. You got hacks enabled.
Yeah. I am a cheater actually. I do cheat. No one's caught me yet. That's the only thing. So actually I have another tangent, another story, a funny like story that I can tell. One time I got a message. Sorry, I'm trying to think about a good way to tell it.
Okay. So I thought you were like asking for permission.
No. Can I please talk? Can I say something? I got a Discord DM from this girl who was like, "Hey, I was just watching one of your videos and I noticed that in this clip," and she like showed me a clip, the timestamp of the clip. She's like, "In this clip, I noticed that like you're cheating. You have like a
hit scan or something? Not a hit scan. Trigger bot?
Yeah, trigger bot. He's like, yeah, I noticed that this is like a trigger bot right here, and she showed the clip. Or what? No, I'm firing a pistol at like nothing. I'm not firing at anything. I guess I was just like firing at the wall, or I was just missing with my crosshair. But the person I was aiming at started getting damage numbers put on them, and she was like, "Oh, I can see you're cheating here." The reason I know this is because I'm a cheater, and I was just wondering if you. I was just making sure that you knew that like you're compromised.
You can't slip past me.
Yeah, you might be compromised, and you might want to like take care of that. And I was like,
you get a bribe. I accept payments and Monopoly money, and we're fine.
And here's the thing: is like I know I don't cheat, obviously. So I was watching that clip, and I was just like, wait, am I cheating? Like, what the fuck? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
It took me like a good minute, and then I was like, oh, my sentry gun is shooting them.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
And when your sentry gun shoots people, like, damage numbers appear above them. And I thought it was really funny.
They just outed themselves as a cheater for no reason.
No, and I thought it was really funny that a cheater outed themselves to me for one, which got them banned from UGC because they reported to the UGC admins.
Yeah.
And they yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's really funny that a cheater was like couldn't comprehend. And to be fair, I didn't notice it first either. So, but cheater is so bad at the game that they couldn't understand the concept of a sentry gun shooting someone or something. I don't know. Yeah, that was definitely really funny, and I got to fucking message him back and be like, hey, that's a sentry gun. Also, you should stop cheating because that's cringe.
Cheating sucks. Cheating's for little kids, man. People who cheat are bad at the game, hands down.
Yeah.
You know. And what's nice about cheats is that they can't fix stupid. Okay, so no matter how many times like dude's gonna hit his shots, like all the other things you need to be good at to do well, he's gonna be completely lacking and super easy to take out.
I mean,
you know?
no offense to cheaters. I mean, I'm sure they're all great people, but
no offense.
I don't want to insult anybody, but you guys are really bad at the game. You should get
mad because bad.
Right. I mean, honestly, you guys, I've played against a few cheaters, and their positioning is just terrible.
Practice it's hard. People think that things just happen overnight. People forget how much practice it takes to like be able to make people think that you're cheating. You know?
Right.
It takes practice. People are like, oh, I just, play for a week and get as good as Uncle Dane at tracking my targets. I'm like, no, I can't track targets like Dane. I barely track people with a metagun. Are you kidding me? How many hours do you have? How many hours is that?
I am approaching 10,000 hours, actually.
This is what 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours is what they consider it takes to be a master in something.
Oh, really? Well, I can't wait to be a master of TF2.
In 10,000, you're officially a TF2 master. 10,000 hours. You would officially be a TF2 master. How does it feel, Master Dane? The council grants you the right.
The rank of master? Oh, great.
The rank of master. Yeah, we're gonna have full prequel memes.
That's
up in here.
That's fantastic. Shout out to God and Jesus.
I'd like to thank God for my arms. I get my balls from my mom's side of the family. Oh, that reflect. Oh, triple reflect.
Oh my god, I
kill.
saw that in the kill field. I thought you were reacting to your epic burn of your mom or something.
Now, sometimes in my videos, I try to sneak in like little kind of like little educational tidbits, kind of like how it's thanks to Skyrim that I know what the word clairvoyance means.
Oh yeah,
like big, just random stuff like that. That's like little video game nugget knowledge, Here's a nugget knowledge for a video game, like because the last video was, like I was talking about heffalumps and woozles, and I was like, actually, this is called a false binary. This is a double negative. And if it's either A or B and there's other options, that is called a false dichotomy. And that is there's a small little scientific fact right there for you guys.
I didn't know I was going to learn.
I know. We're learning, you guys. It's the power of learning. Style's important. Style takes precedent over realism, I think.
It makes the map more interesting than just like a bunch of white boxes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in anything really, in art or in any kind anytime you make anything, style always trumps realism.
Oh, for sure.
I think I would rather something be stylish than realistic.
Back to Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Like the movie's not realistic at all, but it's got style, and that's what makes it fun.
It's important. It's the soul, man. Style is the soul of something. That's why people don't like documentaries, because they're like, it's just boring. But you're clearly not watching the right documentaries, because documentaries are awesome.
It's definitely a learning experience trying to figure out how to make your documentary look like a movie, because that's what it is. I mean,
yeah.
It's very easy to get caught up in the fact like, we don't have to worry about like making this look nice because it's supposed to be realistic and you're supposed to like get an idea of what this person is like realistically. But I think that you should definitely abandon all that and try and go for style,
Go for style. And what else people seem to forget about documentaries, that just because you have to go like factual or you have to inform doesn't mean you can't expose a narrative. You know, the narrative part, I think, is one of the reasons that documentaries get slept on so often, is because people don't think that they contain narratives. You know, they're upset about that.
I had to build me a team. Then I had to build me a fortress too. It's so apparent to me, you're just as scared as can be. Prove fake, but I'm healing you. It's not as bad as it seems. If you kindly keep still, I can ease your pain. We got the same enemies. I got the meds that you need. Only take a second, it'll be